It's that time of year again, the annual physics trip to Hershey Park. While you'll have some free time at the park when you finish, first you need to complete the lab. You'll be using 3 pieces of equipment at the park: a stopwatch, a vertical accelerometer, and a horizontal accelerometer. Each group will need a stopwatch. You need at least one per group, although you might be able to save time if your group has more than one. You should get one before the trip. If you have a cell phone, it might have a stopwatch on it. If you don't have one and don't have a way to get one, you can see Miss Daw, Mr. Manning, or Mr. Oberg at the Minetown restaurant across from the Great Bear and the Coal Cracker when you get to the park. This will take away from your extra time to ride, but there will be some available if you really can't get one yourself. At the meeting before the trip, you will receive a bag with your horizontal and vertical accelerometers. These are what you will be using on the rides. To use the vertical accelerometer, hold it in your hand. When it is standing still, it should be at the second line from the top. Right now on Earth, you are experiencing 1g, so this line represents an acceleration of 1g. The very top line would be 0 g's, less than the normal acceleration you experience on Earth. Please keep in mind that it does start at 0. Be careful not to shake the accelerometer up or down. The weight inside may get stuck inside the spring. If that happens, you need to come see a physics teacher to repair the equipment. When you hold the accelerometer without moving, it should be reading 1g. Please keep in mind the readings are 0 g's, 1g, 2g's, 3g's, and 4g's. The vertical accelerometer can't read more than 4g's. The other piece of equipment that you will receive is a horizontal accelerometer. This looks like a big protractor with 3 BBs inside that are free to move back and forth. You will hold this level and read an angle measurement on the rides. If you take the tangent of the angle, you will find the number of g's of acceleration you are experiencing. When using the horizontal accelerometer, be careful that you are holding it the way the lab paper says. The one side of the accelerometer will only record a reading up to 45 degrees. It reaches the highest point and stops. On the other side of the accelerometer, you can record a reading up to 85 degrees. Each lab is different, but you are often finding the velocity of a ride at a certain point. To do that, focus on a point at this location. A post, tree, or other object will work well. Wait for the ride to reach this point or get to full speed. Then, start timing as soon as the front of the ride gets to that point, and stop timing as soon as the back of the car gets to that point. Never take just one measurement. There's a lot of human error with a stopwatch. It is better to try it at least 5 times and take the average. You could also have several members of your group take the measurements to be certain you are getting correct results. These labs are rated for accuracy, so take your measurements carefully. Before you go to Hershey Park, look through the manual and discuss the rides with your group. You have to do 2 circular motion rides, 2 roller coasters, and 1 other ride of your choice. Circular motion rides include the Pirate, Carousel, Wave Swinger, Wild Mouse, and the Claw. Roller coasters include Comet, Super Duper Looper, Trailblazer, Sidewinder, Wildcat, Great Bear, Storm Runner, and Sky Rush. Other rides include Tidal Force or any of the circular motion rides or roller coasters that you haven't already completed. It is important to note that each ride requires a different number of people and different pieces of equipment. Take a look at this information and plan accordingly. Keep in mind there is always a chance that a ride will be closed, so have a backup plan if that occurs. Before you go, your group can make your predictions and do some of the calculations. At the beginning of each lab, there are specifications for that specific ride. These are the numbers that you will need besides the ones you are instructed to measure. Do as many calculations as possible before you go and make the shape of the graph to save time at the park. You will need to add numbers to your graphs later. You can always wait until you get there or do them on the bus, but that won't give you as much time to ride. There are specific mistakes that people make for each ride and additional instructions. There's a podcast like this one created for each ride. Go through the podcast for the rides that you are planning to do at the park and make a note of any information and common mistakes that might help you while you are there. You might even want to download them if you have a way to take them to the park. If you have questions when you're at Hershey Park, come to Minetown Restaurant. This is located across from the Coal Cracker and Great Bear. There will be a physics teacher there throughout the day. When you complete this lab, this is where you will come turn in your equipment and your lab manual. It is due by 4 p.m. Don't be late. Good luck and have fun at Hershey Park.